All right, audience participation, 2 questions. First, do you pay your taxes? Yeah, woo, wow. Second, did you vote in the midterms? Okay, all right. I have come here to enlist you in a generational project, and it is more than voting and paying taxes. And I'm going to make this point by kind of stressing 3 main ideas. Okay, idea number 1. Societies change through new technologies, new ideas, and there are these big shifts. And through these shifts, there are winners and losers. And an example, in the agrarian era, people used to live on farms. Then we transitioned to the industrial era. Obviously, people won, like industrialists made a lot of money. And eventually, the Industrial Revolution brought benefits to a lot of people. But for this transition period, there was a lot of trouble in society. And so people moved to cities. We didn't have public sanitation. We didn't have, we had graft and corruption in cities. We didn't have strong public health. And so it took the progressive era and 20 or 30 years of work by a lot of regular people to make society work again. We've now transitioned from an industrial economy to a knowledge economy. And this also has created winners, but also breakages. So for example, in the old era, you built a factory wherever there was transport and high school graduates. In the new era, you need to locate with other knowledge workers. And so we get these superstar cities that agglomerate people to them. But if we don't change zoning, then we end up with what we have in San Francisco, which is in one of the richest cities in the richest countries in the history of the world. You have horrible problems with homelessness. So that's idea number 1, is that we go through these transitions and that there's winners and losers. Idea number 2. There's this quote by E.O. Wilson. We have the problem with humanity is we have Paleolithic emotions, medieval institutions, I'd call them industrial institutions, and godlike technology. The emotions are hard-coded from 100,000 or hundreds of thousands of years of evolution. And as Kevin Kelly says, technology has its own motive force, so we're not going to stop these paradigm shifts. So what we have left is institutions. But institutions are stubborn. So the reason that we don't have summer school in the summer, is because we didn't used to have air conditioning. We've had air conditioning for 7 decades, but we still don't have school in the summer. And so our institutions are really slow to change. And the reason why our institutions are now so distrusted by Americans is because they address a previous period. And so they don't speak to today's problems. And institutions can be a lot of things. It can be education, it can be policing, it can be housing policy. But the institutions are democratic and or political parties. And so these are also stuck in an old big versus small government fight. In the progressive era, it took a couple of decades of people working. It was actually a nonpartisan movement. It infected or sort of infiltrated both political parties and started a third party. And at the height, 40% of all Americans were engaged in this institution building. So it was a really mass movement. Okay, idea number 3. So in these technological changes, there are winners and losers. The losers will only lose for so long before they, don't stand for it anymore. And this is a 5,000-year summary of history. Internal division within a country or external threat. Eventually, society is made equal again, but it can either be proactive or reactive. So this is the part where I make the appeal to you to enlist you in this project. In the progressive era, a lot of the funders and leaders in the progressive movement were actually industrialists who had won to some degree in that transition. Most of us here are winners of the knowledge economy. Like, we have won in this transition. And it's in our both maybe moral interest, but certainly our enlightened self-interest to get engaged in doing this work. And paying taxes does not fix this problem, and voting does not fix this problem, per se. In summary, we've had these changes in society. Institutions are really important, are the ways to make society work again. If we don't fix them, we're screwed. And this is what I work on. It's called the Abundance Movement, and you can learn more about it at these links. Thanks.
Hey there, thanks for watching. I'm Brady. And I'm Firein, and we're the people behind Ignite Talks HQ.
The speaker you just watched was in a race against time.
Every Ignite Talk is 20 slides, and the slides change every 15 seconds, whether you're ready or not, so you gotta keep up.
It's out of control. Could you do this?
We think so. Follow us in the usual places to learn more about how you could give a talk.
And don't forget to subscribe for more speedy talks.